Hello everyone, this is Sunanda. So this video mainly deals with cyber offenses, how the criminals plan them. So this is a part of introduction to cyber security. So there might be different steps an attacker will follow in order to perform a cyber crime. And this video mainly helps you understand how the criminal do this plan and how he will be performing this cyber attack on a victim. So whenever we go with before planning with the cyber crime, so there are mainly we can classify the cyber attacks into 4 types mainly. One is an active attack, another one is a passive, inside or outside attacker. So criminals may use either these types of the attacks, or he may use different types of the methods and the tools in order to find or locate the vulnerabilities, that means weaknesses of their victim's system or the target system, which can be identified, which can be maybe a single individual related system or an organization related system. So how the criminals mainly plan the attack can be categorized based upon these types of the attacks. One is an active attack, which is an attack performed by an attacker using different set of the tools, and he will be doing some modifications, or he might be applying some set of the techniques on the data that is being available on the target system, so that whatever the data available within that system might change, and this may lead to some malicious activity to the victim. So active attacks are usually used to alter the system, maybe the configuration of the system, maybe the data or the information available in a system, maybe the resources that are acquired by the system. So this we call it as an active attack. And coming to the passive attack, this is a quite opposite to the active attack, where the attacker don't alter anything. So just attempt to gain the information about the target or the resources or the information of the victim by just observing him or just doing some activity which does not cause any harm to him. So he will be in a concealed manner, that means he will be in a hidden manner, and he will be performing all those activities that was mainly a victim cannot able to understand that an attack has been occurred on his system. Alright, so this is very difficult to identify whether an attack has been occurred or not if an attacker performs a passive attack. And coming to the next one is an inside attack. So this is a type of an attack performed by the insiders within an organization. So the people may be working in an organization, but maybe in a thought of taking revenge on the organization. So this kind of an attack is being performed by the people in an attempt of taking a revenge in an organization in which they are working. So originating and attempted within the security parameters of an organization will be done by the insider, called as inside attack. Alright, so next is an outside attack. So this is an attack that is performed by the competitor persons or the competitor organization. So it's an attack that is performed by the people not within an organization. He may belong to some other organization, or he may be outside of the organization, but he want to take a revenge on an organization. Right, so this attack is attempted by a source outside the security perimeter by outsider or an insider who is indirectly associated with the organization through internet or a remote access connection. So this we call it as outside attack. And next we have these are the different phases in planning a cybercrime. First step is a reconnaissance phase, where mainly attacker will concentrate on gathering the information. So he gather the information using either the active tools or the passive tools. Right, or the active methods or passive methods. And next one is a second phase is a scanning and scrutinizing the gathered information for the validity of the information as well as to identify the existing vulnerabilities. So here the attacker mainly performs this step mainly for scanning and scrutinizing. So whatever the data that he has been gathered, that data will be scrutinized. He will just prioritize the data. He will come to know what data is important and what data is unimportant, and he will take only the important data that helps him to perform an attack on a victim. Right? So in this step, in the third phase, he will launch the attack. So after gaining the data, after scrutinizing the data, that information is used by an attacker to launch the attack on the victim. So he will just do gain and maintenance of the system access will be done through launching of an attack. Coming to the phase 1 in detail, reconnaissance, nothing but information gathering. So reconnaissance means explore, often with a goal of finding something or somebody. So the attacker will explore each and every detail of the victim. Right? So he might be doing this in a manner of getting a small information from a specified person, small information of the victim, either using a different set of the means, like he may do some Google search, or he may go to some person and ask about the information of the victim, or he may go spying on that particular victim to get the information about the victim. After getting the information, he will do whatever action he want. Right? So he just want to get the information as much as he want about the victim in this particular reconnaissance step. So he just begins with footprinting and involves accumulating the data about the target's environment and computer architecture to find ways to intrude into the environment. So he will be following the specific victim to whatever the place he goes, and then he gathers information from those places, asking different questions to the persons belongs to the victim, and gain the information through the answers that has been given by the people of those victim. Right? And then footprinting gives an overview about the system vulnerabilities. The objective of this phase is to understand the system, its network ports and services, and any other aspects of its security that is needed for launching the attack. So he will come to know the different weaknesses. He will come to know the different alternatives through which he can get an attack on that particular victim. So those all will be done in the reconnaissance phase. So in this reconnaissance phase, the first type of the attack he will be performing is a passive attack. So here he won't alter any information. He just gathers the information without the individuals or the company's knowledge. So if he is following any victim, say for example John, so the John's information will be known to the attacker by just observing what are all the activities he is performing. Say if the victim is a student, so he comes to know at what time the student leaves the home, at what time he will be entering into the college, at what time he will be in a class, at what time he will be outside of the class roaming in the college, at what time he will be chatting with the friends, at what time who are all those friends belongs to that particular student. All these activities will be observed, and based upon this activity he comes to know, or he can gather as much information as he want. So it can be as simple as watching a building to identify what time employees entered the building, usually done through the internet searches or by the googling. So this type of passive attack can be done using either searching operation or by googling. Okay, so first search is like a Google or Yahoo search. People search to locate information about the employees, and then surf online community groups like the Facebooks will prove useful information to gain information about the individual. So here the attacker will mainly searches what are all the social networking websites that the victim is visiting. So who are all the friends that are being linked to that particular victim. So what is his interest, what are his likes, what are his unlikes, who is following on, who are the unfollowers, who are the followers of this particular victim. All this will be known by the attacker. Organization's website. So using the organization website, the attacker comes to know the profile details like the phone number, mail ID, address, the photo of that particular victim can be known. All this can be known using the organizational website. Just attacker comes to know the organization in which the victim is working, and from there he goes to the particular website of the organization. From there he can get whatever the information he wants, like the academic details of the particular victim, or the address of that particular victim, the parental details, the photos, or any other details available of that particular victim in an organization can be known by the attacker. So he will be using like the blogs, press releases, which may provide a personal directory or the information about the key employees or working in a company, right? So next one is he can perform the passive attack by going through the job postings, where he comes to know what are all the knowledges that the victim is posing. So what are all the jobs that he is being interested in, whether he is interested in relocating, whether he is not interested. If he is interested, what type of the jobs he is searching for, what is his domain, which knowledge is best suited for that particular victim. All this be known by going through the job postings. In a particular job profiles for the technical persons can provide information about the type of the technology, servers and infrastructure devices. A job posting may contain some eligibilities or prerequisites, where there may be mentioning some technological skills or technical skills which help the attacker that the victim is mainly relating to this particular technology, so that these are the chances that he may go, these are the jobs that he may join. So all this knowledge can be just gained by the attacker by just observing the particular victim's activities. And network sniffing. So the attacker uses this particular network sniffing to yield useful information such as an IP address ranges, hidden servers or the networks to which the particular attack victim has been connected with. Right? So tools used during the passive attack, that means while performing the reconnaissance, information gathering through the passive attacks, these are the tools can be used by an attacker. First one is a Google Earth. It is a virtual global map and geographic information system. It mainly provides the location details. So what are all the locations that the victim has been traveled so far? What are all the interested sites that he has visited, or the locations he has visited? Most of the visiting place of the particular victim can be known using this Google Earth. Next one is an Internet Archive, which is an internet library with the purpose of offering permanent access for the researchers, historians and the scholars to historical collections that exist in the digital format. So here he comes to know what are all the books he has been read, the victim has been interested in, what is the technologically related areas that he is interested in, based upon the papers he has been searched, based upon the text he has been edited, or based upon the images that has been inserted, or the softwares that are used by the victim will be known using this internet archive. And next is a professional community like the LinkedIn, in which he comes to know who are all the connected people who, based upon the interest only, the people can connect with one another in the LinkedIn, right? So based upon the area interested or the domain interested, the same peoples will be the connecting with one another. So in the LinkedIn, which is a interconnected network of experienced professionals from around the world, representing 170 industries and 200 countries, which help the attacker to comes to know who are all the people interconnected with this particular victim, so that he can go through all those profiles. He can even get more information about the victim, either by messaging them or either by interconnecting with them and accessing some of the content written by that particular professionals in the LinkedIn, right? Next one is people search. So this is also a tool used for performing the passive attack, where the attacker get to know the details of the particular victim. So here mostly provides details about the personal information, date of birth, residential address, contact number. Say if a person, if someone want to know the details of us, he can just go to the Google search and then he can search by our name. So for example, I want to search a name about the John. So if I give the name John, it will display the details of different types of the websites wherein name John has been included. So I can just go through one by one and I can come to know the details of which John I have been searching on, so that I can filter it off and I can just go to that specific website. I can open and I can get the details whatever I want. The same procedure will be followed by the attacker. He will be giving the different combinations of the names he want to search. That means the victim's names he will be giving with a different combination. If after that, whatever the names he has been given, it displays a different set of the results. Based upon the filtering options, he can just move to the specific victim's profile and he can gather the contact details or some residential address or some date of birth, his photo, and any other personal information that has been posted by the victim on a particular website will be viewed by the attacker easily. Next one is a domain name confirmation. This is mainly used by the attacker to perform searches for the domain names, website names using multiple keywords. This helps to enable to find every registered domain name in .com or .net or .org or .edu or biz, etc. So in whatever the domain that if at all I have been searching for a website GPRAC, so gprec.ac.in, so it is being registered with .ac.in. so those particular domain names will help the attacker that what the website I have been searching, so how I have been relating to that particular website, so what are my responsibility towards that particular website, so how far I relate to it, all can be known using this domain name confirmation. He can comes to know whether I belongs to in India or any other particular country, or else if at all I am searching for .ac.in, maybe it's like an academics, so he comes to know that I belongs to the academic. So if at all it is like .edu, that means I may be relating to the education related website, so that means my field of interest may be to the education related. Like that he comes to know based upon the domain name extensions. And the next one is a whois, which is a tool used by the attacker to obtain the domain registration information. So when the particular domain has has been registered. So what is the date and how, when it has to be renewed, so that all details can be known, and also on which name this particular URL or the domain name is been registered, that can also be known using the whois. And next one is a website watcher, so used to keep the track of the favorite websites for an update. Here the attacker comes to know what are all the different favorite websites that are being visited by the victim. So how far he is on a particular website, so what are all the activities he has been performed, so what are the web pages he has been navigated through or the redirected to, all those can be known using this website watcher. Next one is a active attacks. So what is meant by an active attack is like, so after gathering the information, after just going or observing a person, getting the information, the attacker won't be any confirmed about that particular information. To get the confirmation about the information that he has been gained, that means he has gained the right information from the victim or not, the confirmation can be done using the active attack. So here involves probing the network to discover individual hosts to confirm the information like an IP address, OS type and version, network services, right? So it involves the risk of detection and is also called as rattling the doorknobs or active reconnaissance. That means just not observing. Here he will actively participate in gaining the information about the victim. So tools used during the active attacks are dig. So used to perform the detailed queries about the DNS records, that is domain name system records details will be digged or will be extracted using this dig tool. So he will be using this particular dig for extracting configuration and administrative information about the network or the domain. Next one is DNS tracer, which is used for determining the data source for the given DNS server back to authoritative sources. So it just helps for the attacker for the confirming that this DNS is being registered with this particular name. So this DNS will be having this particular data source within it. That can be known using the DNS tracer. And DSNIF, that means it is a network auditing tool to capture the username, password and authentication information on the local subnet. And next one is a file snarf, which is used to capture the file transfers, file sharing traffic on the local subnet. And the next one is a hunt, which exploit well-known weaknesses in the TCP/IP protocol suite. That means in whatever all the weaknesses that are within the transmission control protocol and internet protocol will be known using this hunt tool. Right. So next is MSG NARF, which is used to capture. That means it captures the instant messages traffic on the local subnet. And SMTP scan, which is mainly used for determining the type and the version of a remote simple mail transfer protocol, which is mainly used for the Gmail. So for sending mail and receiving mail, this protocol will be used, right? And next is a URL snarf, which is used to capture the HTTP traffic on a local subnet. Next one phase is scanning and scrutinizing the gathered information, which has mainly two subphases. First one is a scanning phase. Here the attacker mainly performs the scanning of the different ports as well as network as well as vulnerabilities of the system. So scanning is a key step to examine intelligently while gathering information about the target. So the objective is port scanning, identify open or closed ports and services. Network scanning, understand IP addresses and related information about computer network systems. And vulnerability scanning, understand the existing weaknesses in the system. These mainly help the attacker for identifying what are all the different ports and the services available, and he can come to understand the different types of the IP addresses and related information, and he can come to know the weaknesses of the systems within the network, so that can be used by an attacker to just involve within that particular network using that system and can perform the attack. Next one is a scrutinizing phase, always called as enumeration. Objective is mainly to identify invalid user accounts or groups. That means after collecting all the informations of all the people, he will just scrutinize it. So whether he want to take a revenge on a set of the people or a single people, or from within the set he can identify a few people on whom he want to take a revenge, or on which there is a more possibility of applying the attacks on them, or he can even identify the people based upon the vulnerabilities or the weaknesses of the system. If I am the victim, so if my system is a weak through the configurations of the security, the chance of attacker of attacking on my system will be very high. So he will prioritize here. He will mainly take the whole set of the users of whose information he has been gathered so far, and he will go through the scrutinizing them. He will just go through filtering all of them. Next one is a network resources and shared resources. After identifying invalid user accounts or groups, here he will get the whatever the users he want to attack on, that list will be obtained in the first step. In the second step, he will go through the network resources and shared resources that are useful for him to apply the attack. So that will be in the second step. And in the third step, he goes through all the operating system and different applications that are running on the operating system. To know the vulnerabilities of the operating system and to know the configurations of the operating system, he will be checking this. So first, if at all I have the people like a set of the people. So these are the set of the people. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So of all these set of the people, say for example, the people, first person is having a system with high vulnerability. That means that the weaknesses, no weaknesses, it's a highly secured one. So the second person system will be very weakly secured system, and the third person's system is also weakly secured, and the fourth person's is also weakly secured, and these two person systems are strongly secured. So now of all these, first he will go to invalid users or the groups. So he will be checking with the first whether these people are all having the valid accounts or not. So this may be having the invalid, but in the second step, as it is highly secured, so he will ignore the first person. And in this group, the second person, maybe he is an invalid user, and the coming to the network resources, it is weakly secured. So now he will be ignoring this particular set of the people. And now he goes to the third and the fourth person. These two are weakly secured, and also they are valid users. So he goes with this particular 3 and 4. Now these people are strongly secured, and also they are invalid user accounts, so these two are ignored. So of all 6 people, the attacker will concentrate on the 3 and 4. So now in the 3 and 4, he will check with the different operating system configurations. If the configurations he is searching for is suitable on 3, then he will prefer the person 3 to attack. If the configurations of the operating operating system in 4 is not suitable, then he will ignore the fourth person, right? Like that, right? Coming to the next phase, launching attack. So gaining and maintaining the system access, the attack is launched through cracking the password, exploiting the privileges. That means cracking the password is using different types of the trail basis or using different set of password cracking techniques. Attacker comes to break the passwords that a victim has been kept on the different set of the accounts and exploit the privileges. He will be changing some of the privileges, like so if a file is having the privilege, owner's privilege, a group privilege and others privilege, he will be modifying it so that even the other people can even read or rewrite or execute that particular file. That can be done. So he will be exploiting some of the privileges of a file or of a system, and then he will execute the malicious commands or the applications that will change the functionality of your system. He will hide some files in the folders on your system by launching the attack. He will cover the tracks, delete the access logs. So after launching the attack, after attacking a system, if he want to hide himself, that means if my system is being hacked and I don't know whether my system is hacked or not, so that mainly done by an attacker by removing the tracks and deleting the access logs. Access logs will mainly stores what are all the activities, what are all the accessing operations performed by a person in a system. So those will be deleted by an attacker so that no one can come to know whether he is attacked or not, right? So these are the different phases of launching the attack. So here the attacker mainly planned